Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Friday, November the 28th. Hope everyone's doing well. If it's the end of the work week for you, hope you have a great weekend. Before I get started, I should actually apologize. The sound quality in a video I did yesterday, Coach's Corner with Julian McGowan, left something to be desired. I did re-upload it with a few tweaks to try and improve the sound quality, but it's still not that great. I apologize. I do believe the quality of what Julian was saying is well worth listening to, but I very much understand that the sound itself isn't great. So thanks for persevering. If you've watched it, I do appreciate that. I think you will find it content-wise interesting. Anyways, on to today's little bit of news, or preview, I suppose. There's a fight coming up on December the 12th, so it's a couple of weeks away, in Dubai, and it's got two things going for it that I find interesting. One, it's a heavyweight fight, so as you probably know, I like heavyweight boxing. Also, it's got a little bit of history associated to it, in that it's kind of an end of an era, I would imagine, for at least one of the boxers. And it's the fight that's scheduled between Kubrat Pulev and Murat Gassiev. Now, I'm not sure how popular this fight will be. Will it garner the attention of a more broad, casual audience? To be fair, probably not. But interesting fight in that Pulev, who's 44 years of age, he started his professional career in 2009. So you're going back some ways, right? He fought for Vladimir Klitschko for the unified titles, at least three of them anyhow, in 2014. He lost. He also fought Anthony Joshua for the same three belts in 2020, and he lost. And he's got one loss against Derek Chisora. I think he and Chisora are 1-1, actually. So he's got 3 losses on his record, 32 wins. He's a big fellow, 6'4.5", 79.5-inch reach. Hails from Bulgaria. His weights, he's been 257, 248, 257, 250, 248, 239, at least over the last, the last 6 fights. So he's, commonly, 239, that was an interesting, a low weight, but mostly he's in and around, that 250-ish kind of number. He's had some decent wins. Beat Jerry Forrest in 2022. Beat Huey Fury in 2018. Derek Chisora in 2016. Got stopped by Vlad, like I say. No shame in being stopped by Vladimir Klitschko. His most recent outing was against Mahmoud Char. Went the distance, got a unanimous decision. And, at 44, he's got to be very close to the end of his career. There was talk about him fighting, I think, Moses Itoma, Fabio Wardley. But he's decided to take on the former cruiserweight, though, to be fair, hasn't been a cruiserweight since 2018, in Murat Gassiev. Now, Murat Gassiev, let's just pull him up a little bit here, get some details. 32 years of age, from Russia, 6'2.5", so smaller man, 76-inch reach. His last 6 fights, he's weighed 233, 230, 216. That seems a bit low. That's off BoxRec, but anyhow, 238, 233, 234. It's clearly the smaller man, giving away roughly, I don't know, £20 or so against Pulev. He was unbeaten as a cruiserweight up to the time he met Alexander Usyk in July of 2018. And like most people, like every person that Usyk has faced, no shame again whatsoever in losing out to a future Hall of Famer, right? Just like Pulev can't be criticized for losing to Vladimir Klitschko back in 2014, you can't really criticize Gassiev for losing to Usyk. Went the distance with Usyk. Many people say he gave Usyk a very tough fight, right? But that was back in 2018. It was for the IBF, WBC, and WBO cruiserweight titles. And after that, his next outing was in 2020. So he took a year and change off because he fought in October 2020. He came back as a heavyweight. And he's been competing as a heavyweight since then. 2023, he lost to Otter Wallin. So that was his second loss. And his first as a heavyweight. It was a split decision against Otter Wallin, went the distance, of course. Since then, he's had two fights, one in 2024, one in 2025. And he stopped one of his opponents and retired the other one. And so now he's ready to tackle Kubrat Pulev. Certainly the favourites in my jurisdiction, 1.29 against, I think it's 3.25 decimal odds. The bookie's favourite, like I say, the younger man, and I think that's the big thing here. BoxRec lists him as being 32 years of age. So 32 against 44, even though he's the smaller man. Father Time remains undefeated, as we all know. And they both fighters have been in with quality opposition, like I say, though, to be fair, the opposition that Gassiev went in against was when he was a cruiserweight. Wallin is the best he's fought at heavyweight, and like I say, he lost that split decision. And Wallin is, I don't know, would you say Wallin was fringe world level? I wouldn't, personally. I'd say more like European level. But then, having said that, if we look at Pulev, when Pulev has stepped up, even when he was a younger man, like I say, he lost to Vlad, he lost to Joshua. He did beat Hughie Fury when Hughie Fury was being touted as something. It's probably his best win was against Jerry Forrest, I would think. So they've both been in with reasonable quality opposition, but when they've been in against elite level opposition, or in the case of Gassiev, sort of, very much fringe, they both come up short. But it should be an interesting fight. My brain tells me that Gassiev is going to win this, most likely over the full 12 rounds. It might be worth putting an outside bet on the underdog here. Let's see. Pulev has been more active fighter. He fought twice in 2024, once in 23, twice in 2022. Whereas Gassiev, he has fought this year. He fought once in 24, twice in 23. So it's a wash, right? I would say that the smarter money would go on Gassiev, unless you thought that the size and power of Pulev might be enough to stop him. I'm thinking Gassiev. I think the bookies have got this one right. But it should probably be the end of Pulev's career at 44. I don't think he's got much left in him. But, he was a name at one time. And it's I would imagine, the last hurrah for him. Where does Murat Gassiev go? Gassiev, in an era of big heavyweights, with the obvious exception of Usyk, it's hard to say who he would be in against if he gets through Pulev. He's a tough competitor for sure, but we live in the land of the giants, right? But I think it'll be worth watching. Like I say, it's at the Duty Free Tennis Stadium in Dubai, there's Maxi Hughes is fighting on that card, and the rest of the names I don't really recognize, put on by the United Arab Emirates Boxing Commission. So something to look forward to if you like to watch famous names of the past. I shall probably do a report on it after the fight. Anyways, there we go. That's all I've got for today. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. If you happen to have watched this and you haven't yet subscribed, it would be nice for you, nice for me rather, if you were to do so. I'd appreciate that. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a fabulous day wherever you are. Cheers.